Okay, welcome to Mori, episode 23. Me with Montech and Qbhall. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
So, Qbhall, at your carnival, people get murdered. Why is that?
Yeah, I think in Trinidad, like generally in countries, there's laws against murder. I think in Trinidad is kind of like a suggestion.
Oh,
Um,
just an option.
Not really sure.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
it's part of our culture. And
Ah,
I'll have no one, criticize it. Right?
it's a bit
You know,
of Pirates of the Caribbean, literally.
yeah.
Excuse me, I need more context. What is going on?
He is from Trinidad, so the laws are a bit iffy.
We don't really have laws. It's like suggestions. Uh, eh, Try not to. I mean, nobody perfect, right?
No,
Um,
say that. For the whole country is something else in a person, but hey.
There's,
Oh well.
I mean, yeah, nobody's perfect. Plenty of us, I don't know, maybe wouldn't be here if that wasn't true. So that is,
No. I mean, same
you
reason
know,
why the other guy isn't here.
yeah, he might be braver than me, or at least in a safer country than I.
Yeah, it's in Italy, so it's like in
Yeah,
general more,
yeah.
you know,
Italy is like,
crowded, I guess.
you know,
Hmm.
you know,
Ah,
Uh,
so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's definitely an awkward way to
yeah,
start a podcast. But
hey, I want to start with something.
murder.
yeah,
You get
well,
them, you get
yeah,
them, you hook them from the murder.
Yeah,
yeah.
Murder.
murder.
Fuck.
Yeah, give
Oh,
me
but
the
it's,
montage. Good start. Good start. But yeah,
Ah, so
Montech, how's it going with you? We had somebody in Japan making some animations or something like that last time. Heard?
nice, very nice. For me, I wait. Did I tell you that I recently rewatched Evangelion?
No.
No. So yeah. So I'm
How's that?
introducing my girlfriend to anime.
Ah, that's right.
She watches her Chinese animation, other
Uh,
stuff, but I want to introduce her
uh,
to like older classics.
uh,
And we rewatched the entire TV series, the
mm,
26 episodes, and then the end of Evangelion.
uh-huh.
It's like I really wanted to know to see her expression when she watched the infamous
If her mind
scene.
was blown.
Yes, her mind was blown. Shinji blew his load. Anyway,
What?
and yeah, it was definitely like rewatching it, right? Because when I watched Evangelion, I was like, what, 16, something like that. Like I
Mm,
was still a teenager. I didn't like really watch it as an adult. And now, after I watched it again, I noticed so much more things, right? And my
mm,
opinion on the last two episodes of the series in TV definitely changed because it was negative. I thought it was like low effort stuff like that. But when you start watching it, those two episodes are, instead of being low effort, are actually like very like trying to represent something like mental being
mhm.
on paper, and it's definitely something very unique and different, but it's
Yeah.
not for young people.
Yeah. I mean, I watched all the movies, all the three movies. The series only halfway, so and the movie he
Uh-huh.
tried that. Yeah, basically in the end of the series, he had almost no budget left, so that's why we got an ending like that. So we want to solve it with like the end of Evangelion, etc. So he made the redo movies with the right budget and the full idea he wanted to do. And basically, at the end of those movies, it's basically just going into another dimension with the angels and stopping it from there. Basically, just well, it's all, lots of spoilers, but I mean, if you've seen it, you know what I mean. So
Yeah, well, not exactly like the way you said, actually. Like now, if I still would wear my glasses, I would, do the. Well, actually, what happened was you're correct about the last two episodes, they being like very low on budget, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and they retold those two episodes with the movie, the end of Evangelion,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And then you have like the rebuild series, right? Like those
Yeah.
four movies.
Yeah.
But they actually are telling like a completely different story. Like the first
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
like,
It's like, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and we get a new character introduced. We get it's just a retelling basically. And the end of the thing is it's more like just a rehash of even original stories. It's basically getting all these other projects like the novels, the manga, even the games even get their stories completed in some way. You get more information on that, more on the and even on more the background and one from the director came from with his mindset on the series, basically. And so you
oh
get a
yeah,
more complete, well, a bit overbearing, especially if you've been me and watching like four movies in the theater, like in 2 days, two after another. That was not the best idea ever, but hey, at least I watched that. Had my cloud, my head
it
cloud.
is definitely an experience to do that,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah, it was. Christ. Yeah, I
So
mean, yeah,
yeah,
but
like I like to treat like rebuilds as like a completely separate uh
entity.
thing. Yeah, like because as you said, like the mental state of the author, right? Hideaki Anno.
Mm.
He basically uh was clinically depressed when he was doing the
Yeah,
original
yeah,
series,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And now the rebuilds were made like when he finally found some kind of happiness in his life, and
Mm.
it feels so much. It definitely feels
Yeah,
very
yeah,
different.
yeah. You feel more. There's more hope in the movies. There's more like there's something more going on than just what we see in the originals. I mean, and then you have some hardcore fans that only want to see the originals and the end of Evangelion because of the experimentation that they used in it, and think that the rebuilds were not good at all. I don't know. I think it was fine. I mean, most people thought that movie three was not that good, but I don't know. I had a fine time, so it was not that bad. But uh,
The
I mean,
three, like the third movie, for me, weirdly enough, was my favorite because, well, you know the character Kaworu, right?
yeah,
So like the people who don't know, like basically it's all the memes where Shinji is gay because this guy is like basically
yeah,
fucking him.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, he's not fucking him. It's whatever. What I liked about it, right? You see, in the original TV series, Kaworu is only for one episode, right?
Mm,
And you don't really like. They try to show the relationship between him and Shinji, but for me, it felt that it needed like another episode. Like it needed a little bit more time to develop because it
mm,
was very rushed. And in the third movie, right, I could actually like feel the emotional attachment between Shinji and Kaworu, and like the whole tragic scene with him was way more impactful to me when it
mm.
happened. Between
Yeah,
like
yeah,
for me in that regard, it was very interesting, and I like the very weird state the Nerve was in, like such a post-apocalyptic type of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
setting.
It was both functioning, but also not in a way. It was just kind of like they were just in ruins, but at the same time, they're still going on with their operations and whatnot. It's kind of
Exactly, and it
weird.
felt very original and interesting take. And for that, for trying to be original, I cannot blame them. It definitely
Yeah.
felt nice.
Yeah, yeah. It was kind of funny, like in the movie, like Asuka was like just going into the movie, like, oh no, Shinji's always been depressed, and if you just kick his ass, then he gets back up. Well, you just seen a guy's head explode and all this traumatic shit, and almost the apocalypse happened again thanks to him, etc., etc. It's like also really comedic. It's just like yeah,
It is.
and he
It is.
goes through his traumatic phase the whole movie long and wouldn't talk to anybody and just thinking about the guy would just make him vomit and then just her just like fuck I don't care just leave me the fuck alone just get over yourself grow up already I'm like 36 at this point but I'm like in a body of a teenage girl It's something like that.
Ah, yeah. That is one of the parts that I really didn't like. Like, I understand why they kept the Asuka character the same in the rebuild movies, right? Like the
Mm.
curse of the Eva.
Yeah,
Something they didn't even elaborate that. It's just the curse of Eva and whatever. It's like I would have actually liked to see Asuka as an adult. That would have been like
I
such an
mean,
interesting
yeah,
dynamic.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That would get the
imagine
fans
like
also hyped in
like
other ways, but
in a really fucked up way, right?
yeah,
Shinji and Asuka, they kind of liked each other and hated it at the
yeah,
same
yeah. Love
time.
hate relationship. Yeah, they were in kind of like yeah, in the series too. Yeah, originally.
But
But
imagine now, like this type of relationship, right? Now it's like, how would you resolve that between like an adult woman and a kid, right? How fucking awkward
yeah,
that would be.
no, no, not really. I mean, yeah, mentally she grew up to be 36, but her body's still the same. He
But
also grew up,
Shinji
but the
didn't.
mental state is still the same, and his body is the same for some reason.
Exactly, but
Because
Shinji like completely skipped that time. It would have been like very interesting conversations that they would have. Like in that
yeah,
point regard, I think it was a missed opportunity. But well, you gotta have the waifu. You gotta have
yeah,
Asuka.
of course,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't change him. Of course not. So we have to have the merch. And like, what else do the fans even
Yeah,
want?
yeah, yeah. Nah, slap new sunglasses on the Gendo. We need to sell more figurines.
Yeah, true, true, true. I mean, yeah, basically, she just hated him because, well, he ruined literally everything for her, and she's just, going back to that state. Mentally, she's grown up, but also mentally, she's just stuck in the body of a child because her whole backstory was changed. He didn't came from Germany this time, but grew up in some mansion with nobody to care for her, and then just went on from that point, just lonely children. At the end of
Ah,
the series, we got their happiness back, I guess, between by returning everything to zero, basically.
well, okay, so the end of Evangelion, right? The ending of it was like very like I don't know
Oh,
how
I
to
mean,
describe
for
it.
the rebuild movies, by the way, I was talking about that,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the.
yeah, but I want to compare those endings, right?
Uh,
Not completely spoiling it, but like it felt very like melancholic or something. The original end of Evangelion ending, it
yeah,
felt very like something to like you think about it, and it's like you're not sure how to feel about it. And the rebuild
mm,
ending was like very much more positive in a way.
yeah, yeah.
It's like a reflection of the creator, right, and the state he was in at that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah, true. I mean, you also saw. What more do you see? Mm, in the end of Evangelion, why we, or I think why we got that whole, you know, getting by Asuka's bed, doing the deeds, and then just skip to some other scene. I think it's just. I think that scene is just because in there because Shinji is really breaking down, and everything is literally the end of Evangelion. That's why that
Mm.
shit happens. It's just like everything just breaks down, even logic, in that kind of sense. I don't know. That's how I kind of see it, like why that was a thing altogether.
Mm. Yes.
Also, what I kind of find weird, if you see here the pics, that they just go berserk. Their own Eva powers will go berserk, and they all and the soul and they said all the time they would go. They can go back to the original forms, but they do all the damn time. They never go berserk and never go. Oh no, I can go back from that, and they just go back each time. I think find kind of like dumb. Like, what's the stake here if they just go back to the original forms? But yeah, you have to have a good ending this time than just whatever we had back then. So, but I don't know.
True.
Find it a bit dumb to have a risk in there, but you know that's gonna be good at the end,
Yes.
especially if you do it just a bunch of times.
And for example, talking from a technical standpoint, right? Rebuilds. The third one was okay for me, but like fourth one, while the animation was definitely beautiful,
Hmm.
and some parts, especially with like the ship they have, right? Like
Ah, yeah.
it's like a weird amalgamation like between Eva and like a mechanical ship, like a flying bird thing that
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have.
yeah, yeah.
It was
Kind of like
definitely interesting, but like I could really feel CGI in it. It really like the difference between animation, the drawn one, and like the CGI they used, it felt a little bit like out of balance. I think they could have done it better.
Yeah. Like you saw the one of the Eva 4 flying by. That kind of felt like CGI. Yeah, that didn't feel like it was 2D all the way. But it's like a bit difficult nowadays to pull off such a movie and just make it all the way 2D like they did back in the day. I mean, nowadays that's
I
you know.
completely understand the usage of 3D, but like there's good 3D, and then there's like 3D which just goes into like uncanny valley, and
Yeah,
it's like
true.
it feels like it's it doesn't belong in there. It feels like you're trying to mix something. It's like oil and water. It's like the oil is
Yeah,
staying on
yeah.
top of the water.
Yeah,
It's
it's difficult to balance those things out to make it really work. Like if you look at, like for instance, Chainsaw Man, all the characters in there were 3D, but they looked 2D. So there was a good blend of the two. Just make them look doing stuff that they couldn't normally do where they were 2D, but still could do it because they were CGI, but looked 3D or
I
something
mean
like that.
the art style was like complete like the entire like the world was built around those characters, that art style to make it work. Yeah, and then if you start from the beginning with intention in mind that you're going to use CGI, then it can definitely work.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you have like CGI, for instance, with Dora, with all the characters are CGI, but the world is 2D. Then it's kind of like a sore thumb in a way because it looks really weird with these 3D characters in 2D environments. It's just talking and walking and doing stuff around. And like, also seen the OPA and the first opening for that, but the characters are 2D, so it could work for 2D. So why did they do it 3D? Because I don't know, budget restraints or just like want to do more shit that they couldn't do with 2D. But
Hmm.
we'll
I
never
don't know.
know about that, I guess.
I think yeah, I think the treaty was a little too gratuitous. I think like having no having no limits. Maybe make things a little less interesting. I sure you see the huge contrast between that and the TV series. Which I mean, they had so much limits even before the last couple episodes that everything was just so carefully composed and framed and everything. And the movies, I thought it was I can't, a lot of times I can't even remember specific scenes because it was just so much. If that makes sense.
It
Yeah,
does. Yeah, like that's a very good point you bring up, right? When you have like limitations, budget, right? You have to plan out the scenes very carefully because otherwise you will not be able to do that. And when you have unlimited resources, people start doing unnecessary things. It starts feeling like there is too much. You are completely right. That's not only in anime, but in like movies and everything, actually. It's a great point you bring in.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Also
think
saw that.
I mean, everybody remembers like the synchronized fight, all that stuff was like they have one chance to do this. So that took a lot of time making sure it was right. Like now, I'm sure he was doing and redoing, well, pun not intended, scenes over and over again, just to probably get it right, or not even to get it right, but trying all the variations, which I think was part of why it seemed like it was so modeled.
And
Um,
even in the scenes where they were saving budget, for example, still were very memorable. One of the famous examples, of course, is the elevator scene, right? Where it's basically like half a minute or almost like a minute of just Asuka standing in the corner of the lift,
Ah,
and
yeah.
it is like, and just silence, and like you can like and logically you know that they are saving budget there, but emotionally and like from like the perspective like story and the characters, it makes it work, and so it's like very interesting thing
you
to me.
know, Also, I was thinking about the scale of that place. Like it like there's a lot of mega structures in that. The whole underground city, you know,
Yeah,
and
it's gigantic. If you see the beginning scenes when Shinji is first introduced into the facility, they just go by lift everywhere, and the whole thing is just gigantic. With all the machinery and the pyramids in the middle.
Like I,
yeah,
I want I want to talk to that person, right, who came up with those ideas, because yeah, I know, probably wrote the script and everything, right? But if you take attention, if you're like a really nerdy, if you are really into hard sci-fi, and who doesn't know, hard sci-fi is science fiction, but based on actual physics, actual like science that is can be like somehow. You're distracting me with those backgrounds, dude. It's based on like reality, right? Eva Evangelion, at least like the original TV series, is surprisingly very hard science fiction. And I don't know if Anna was the person who came up with that idea, or was there some kind of advisor who was so into this shit that they managed to like get everything so tight and hard science fiction way. And one thing that I will even mention, like they went so hard into the science of Evangelion, like you can feel like they were reading actual like research papers, like not like fucking tabloids or something, but actual like cutting edge research that is like being published by actual scientists.
Yeah. I mean, Nia did the same for Blame with all the theories he put into him and for the structures, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, especially with the last movie, they put so much stuff into it. It's just they try to answer everything, well, almost everything, but except with the mom. With the mom, we didn't get too much early stuff from her, but yeah, we're trying to get even background stuff on like how they would make it before. But for instance, there was one scene like it was centered around like a kaiju fight, for instance, and like how the and you saw the background for that was a whole. They were basically in another universe fighting the deaths. Then they fall back. You see, and then you see this whole stage playing out like a kaiju fight. And then you see all these controllers around and other puppetry and screens and models and whatnot. Like it was an actual stage for your early for a kaiju fight you normally would see. So he also saw the process behind like these fights, like what he has seen in his childhood, like Godzilla and other movies like it. So you also get to see that kind of shit, and even a throwback to the original series, mixing it in some way. I don't really exactly what was the reference to that, but yeah, there was a lot of different info that they put in there.
Hmm. Ah, now I remembered, right? We mentioned like a way how animation saves money, right? Long scenes, stuff like that. I started reading a manga. And it's quite enjoyable, but we'll get to it later. It's called Under. Wait, how is it? Under Samurai. No, no, Under Ninja. Under
Oh,
Ninja.
Ninja, I have heard of that.
Yes, and I at first I thought, wow, okay, the drawing is so detailed and everything, and I realized, like, I was watching like a Twitch streamer who would make interesting illustrations and stuff like that.
Yeah, the same manga as I Am Hero.
No, it's just a different artist, but they both the artists who draw Under Ninja, and the dude on Twitch who was drawing illustrations. They're using the same technique, and that technique, it's called photo bashing. Are you
Oh,
familiar
making
with it?
photos into drawings, you mean? Ah, yeah, I've seen it in multiple manga. Yeah, I know
And
that.
it clicked to me. I started looking closer at that manga, and the characters were drawn, but all the backgrounds were actually photos.
Photos. Yeah.
I don't know how common that is now in
I
manga.
mean, I've seen it in Usana with like Pun Pun. I mean, only he draws upon those photo bashing drawings to make it even more detailed and make it even more like an actual drawing. But they're actually photos that they're using, and they have Inoshiki, so it's basically a robot that looks like a grandpa but battles another robot, which is also full of photos actually turned into drawings. Greenblood also uses it. It's also another manga. It's the same manga as what's the manga called? Like all these teenagers in black suits fighting aliens, and then a lot of other shit. What was it called again?
Oh,
Uh,
Gantz.
But yeah.
hmm?
Gantz is the
Guns,
manga.
yeah. Guns uses also that. Also uses pics for the background and just turns them into drawings. So yeah, no, it's pretty common. Even the early 2000s, they even used it kind of, but it looks worse, obviously, because technology. But yeah,
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? It's like they're not drawing in the backgrounds. They are like
yeah.
using like very advanced filters on like Photoshop or something and turn the photos into like something that looks like a drawing. But it's like
Mhm.
the actual amount of drawing is not much. It's more like photoshopping rather than like actual drawing. I don't know how to feel about it. It's like it like instantly like it didn't like make me enjoy the manga less, but it made me like appreciate the art a bit less because I started realizing, oh, they're just doing it like that.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Let me
Yeah,
see.
I think heavy refer. Well, some people, they kind of. I don't like really the use of the word reference because it's less reference and it's more. I don't know, tracing, I suppose. Um,
Oh,
but yeah,
using
it's
something as a reference, it's completely fine by me. Like many artists does do that. But
Mhm.
the
right.
problem is when you take a photograph, you just put a Photoshop filter on it
Yeah, here, like
and like
here.
pass
This
it
is
off. Yeah,
clearly looks like a photo.
yeah, it is a photo. It's most
Yeah,
likely
that's
a
what I
photo.
mean.
Yeah,
This clearly looks like photo turned into a drawing. That's what I mean with guns.
yeah.
But yeah. Go on, go on.
So I don't know how to feel about it. It's like, man, it's like
Well,
at first I thought, wow, they're putting so much attention. Then I realized, wait,
like yeah, and then you look at the trees and back streets, and like, that looks kind of too real,
too
too
good. Something's
yeah.
off.
But yeah, oh well. I mean, it just depends how you work with it. I mean, if you overuse it, then you just see it everywhere. And it just kind of seems lazy. But you just do it sometimes and just put enough detail into it. Then you can think of like, oh, that's like that's actually put attention to it. I mean, it saves the manga time, obviously, because they have to work in such a heavy deadline to make anything, any chapter, obviously. So yeah,
Our Qbhall disconnected.
yeah, sweet. Ah, well,
Mm,
he might be come back. That's sometimes it
hopefully.
happens. But
So,
what else?
talking about like that manga Under Ninja, right?
Yeah,
It's the same person who made I Am Hero
yeah,
manga.
like I said.
Yeah, I am in a hate and love relationship with him because like the mangas he do, the beginnings, like the ideas of a manga
Mm-hmm.
are really good, like original, interesting, good
Mm-hmm.
characters. They feel weirdly very real. Uh, but then he has like this. I don't know what is up with him, but like he devolves into like worldwide conspiracies.
Yeah,
It's like everything becomes like in such a large proportions that it's
yeah,
like,
it gets only bigger and bigger and bigger and weirder and
yeah,
weirder
it's
and
like,
weirder.
dude, stop! I just want to watch a ninja who's a drunk and is like trying to snip people's like penises off with scissors or something. It was so hilarious, and it's like I want that back. Please give it back. But he
Yeah,
wants to.
I know. Like with Army here, it only gets worse and worse and weirder and weirder and weirder. And the main guy just suffers from schizophrenia and other mental problems. So he thinks like is this all in my head or is this in real life? And even we are to guess if this is all real or just in his head and it's just all bull and he's just getting crazier and crazier and crazier without his meds and whatnot. So I mean, at one time, his coworker is hit by the wheel of a flying plane while it's being
Yes,
attacked by zombies.
such an amazing scene. I wish.
Yeah,
I hope it was like in the manga. It's canon because it's just like
it
what the
is in the
fuck.
manga. I've read the thing. So,
Yeah, I know. And it's like, damn, like, and I love the characters, right? Like in the very beginning, right?
mm,
Same with Under Ninja. I got the same exact like vibes from the characters. Like they
mm.
feel like very real. Like they're actually living day to day, right?
Yeah, yeah,
The,
yeah,
the the conversations are actually what you like expect from those types of
yeah. In
people,
the
and
office, in the with friends, etc., etc. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like he is the best at that grounded level, right? At
Mm,
that when it's like you have to like stay low, like you have to like don't need to like devolve into like secret agencies or something. If
yeah,
you
yeah,
just like
yeah,
stayed at that level and managed to stick to its story, I think we would like see masterpieces. But right now, someone like he needs to find a girlfriend who would control him. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. He needs some support. Yeah, I mean, he went from a normal girl that was in a gang, got with her together. After that, he went with a kid that was less kosher, I guess. All
Oh my god.
zombie, and then just it gets only weirder and weirder from there. One guy is just
Uh,
a walking head, basically with some tentacles. Also really weird. It's
and
very difficult
eventually,
to explain.
yeah, and eventually, like you get to the points where there's like some really unexpected, weird, like plot holes. Like for example, it's okay now like some zombies are helping us, some are not. Wait, it isn't like all of the people are infected if you get bitten. Like you start don't understanding the rules of the world he's building.
Yeah. Well, some just totally infected and gone, and some are like the whole bodies are gone, but their mind is still in place for some reason, or they're just in a half way, like they're half zombie and they're half humans. You just have a balance between it. And with the aliens, it was kind of like they want to, you
And
know,
yeah,
the
and then it's
first.
like they are zombies, but actually not zombies. It's like make up your mind. Like what is this?
Yeah, I remember with the aliens, this was like a plot point for like that they would, you know, have a cycle of life constantly, but then just at the end they just died. So what was the whole point of them?
Yeah,
Also no good, and it just
he could have avoided aliens completely. Like I think it
yeah.
would have even made it better. But I really
Yeah.
like, for example, in the late scenes, right, where they were dealing with the people in the high-rise building, right, with the person who was making a sect or something, right.
Hmm.
I
Oh
was
yeah,
enjoying that
no
because it was like
Tampa.
a little bit like returning a little bit to the roots, but like the like subplots just like no, just stay simple. Stay simple. You can do this. Come
Not a
on.
little too big, but it's just like just goes. And I don't know. It was a fun crash ride. I mean, it starts off normal. You think, "Fun, oh yeah, I get into this," and then his girlfriend changes, and then just shoves his head through the mailbox or something like that, and tries to murder him in that way. And then,
Yeah,
oh boy,
it's definitely something. I definitely recommend to read it just because of it's like to see what not to do sometimes.
basic. They also made a live action movie out of it, by the way, like a
They
few.
did. Did they like change the plot a little bit at least, or is it completely the same?
I think they just used some of the beginning volumes basically, and they just made a plot out of that, or something like that. I haven't seen it, so
Thank God. Okay, it might like that movie might have like some hope. Maybe
I
I'll
mean
watch
it
it.
wouldn't work otherwise if they just took the end of the manga or something like that. The CGI wouldn't,
Yeah. Also, especially it's not a short manga. It's quite long.
No. It's like what, 15 volumes or something, 20,
It's like
something like that.
I think that's like 300 chapters.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you see this, all right? You know how long it took for me to finish it?
Mm, a year?
Like no, like 2 or 3 days.
Oh. You just finished the whole thing.
Yeah, I couldn't take my
I
eyes off of
couldn't
the screen,
stop.
right?
Yeah, I get it. There's some stuff, but the majority, I would just get bored of it. I'm like, I see, oh, another murderer, oh, another zombie, oh, another weird thing, and it's just getting it repeats in my head. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. So, like, I kind of get desensitized to it. I'm kind of get too used to the weird shit that's gonna happen at some
Yeah,
point. So, nah,
definitely.
well,
Well, the reason I started reading it, right,
mm,
was actually like on 4chan, you have
ah,
boards, different, like, people talking about different topics. And I was
mm,
like on the weapons board, guns
mm,
board. And like I was looking for something that would be like a manga that would be more accurate to the military, accurate in the way they use the guns and stuff like that.
mm,
And they recommended this one because like the way he uses his weapon is actually quite realistic. It's like he
yeah,
knows how to take care of it, how to clean it. Like it's
yeah,
an
he has an
actual
actual
real.
permit for it in the manga.
Yeah, and it's like that's the reason why I read it. But it was such a like I don't know how to feel about it. It's like it's definitely
Why would you give a guy with schizophrenia and other mental illnesses and other weird quirks a gun like that? Why would you give him a permit? Like, yeah, sure, buddy, just here you go.
I mean like
I
yeah, but
don't
like
know.
the way he treats the gun is very responsible, of
I mean,
course. Yes,
true,
but
yeah, it's realistic to that to make beyond that, but yeah, okay. And by
but
the
like
way,
yeah,
you had a guy in Japan making some anime. What did he
yes.
make?
What?
You said last time you had a guy that's making.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't write me back.
Oh, bruh.
Like it's very difficult to get in there because like they expect from you nowadays. Okay, so like nowadays the anime thing, the entire like production thing, they don't really want much creativity that much because
Yeah.
basically you are expected to be like an office worker. You are supposed to draw this character in this specific way and no other way of interpretation of it.
Mm-hmm.
And him being not from Japan, from a Western country, he of course wants to express his creativity, and
Mm-hmm.
he's not that bad at it. He's not. He's a distant like illustrator, but there's no way for him to express himself. And when he draws his characters, you can like instantly see it's like it's trying to be like an anime, but you can see like the French influences on it. You can see the like American influences of it.
Mm-hmm.
Adult, for example, animation, like not like porn, but like for adults animation, right? And like the
Yeah.
eye, and it's like it's good, but it's not Japanese, and I think they don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, in Japan, it wouldn't sell as well because they're not used to that. Like, the majority, like stuff like Dragon, Dragon Proxy, that was all too Western, so we didn't sell in Japan.
So yeah, I think it's a clash not of skill, like the problem not of a skill, but of the way they view animation. Just the way the entire mental space that they are in when they're creating. But he is a very good background illustrator. He creates beautiful backgrounds. So I
Mm.
think maybe if he goes in that direction, maybe he'll be successful. We'll see.
Yeah. And did he work on any shows that I know of, or anybody, or just?
No, he's still studying. He's still quite young.
Oh,
He has a mentorship, like a mentor who is teaching him. If
uh,
I'll be able to dig up, I'll find some illustrations and maybe
sure.
send it to you. And maybe on the next podcast we can look at
Ye-
some of them.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, other topic. Recently found the original site of Nihei, BlameNet, the original site that he first started back in the day when making Blame, basically. I thought for years that it was inaccessible, but it's still there on archive. It just had to dig a little deeper. So I found a ton of stuff in there. That also made
Oh,
just the biggest in giant list of old sites that
yeah.
they used back in the day, or like from fans that probably sent them in, and then that has any Nihei on it and just chat on that side. So yeah, the whole list from majority from Japan, but also from Western world like France, Italy, etc., etc., etc. So he also has this big list on that. But he also sold on the side like T-shirts, wristbands, even and other stuff. So it's kind of interesting how we went with all this stuff. And it's also useful for me because I'm trying to make an anime on the 2003 anime and 2007 short animes that he made for Blame back in the day. That was actually an idea that in 2007 it got a movie, but that came like 10 years later in 2017, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah. Like these products, for
Oh,
instance, like T-shirts, wristbands, posters. No, these posters I've actually seen them online, but never bought them. These shirts also seen never online, except this first black shirt. Another guy
no.
on Discord I know has a shirt. Didn't know where it came from, but came from this eventually because it was in a pamphlet for the 2003 DVD. These photos were in, and that was the only way to know it. So, yeah, kind of nice that
It
finally have.
is definitely very nice that someone managed to archive it. It's a look on early internet. It's
Hmm.
not early, but like 2000s internet. It's
Hmm.
yeah. I miss websites nowadays. Everything is on like a couple of websites and just like what people post. I miss like
No, no,
back in
no.
the day when like the awful designs of websites. I want
Yeah,
them
yeah,
back.
yeah. Just it just kind of has a mystique over it. Just kind of like just want to explore and what everything has to offer on the site. I mean, I go through a lot of these sites. Like a couple of days, I went through the whole list of these links and just finding all kinds of links and getting around everything that doesn't work anymore. On some sites that
Have
already been broken.
Have you tried going on the old Studio 4C website?
Yeah, I've been on there. I've been on there a couple of times, I think. Yeah,
For me, it was such a
hungry.
trip because like the animated it like it's like a very interactive type of website. Like for
Yeah.
back in the day, definitely was like something. Nowadays, you will not find that. And like they even like made specific animations, like shorts, for the website.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were building basically an entire, like Studio 4C was building like an entire city type of, I don't know, like lore. I don't know how to
Mm.
even describe it. It's definitely weird. It's very
Maybe you
interesting.
can look it up
Hmm.
real quick. That works. Studio 4C. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, this one. Yeah, you need to go to like I don't know 2004,
Ah,
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Just in case, if you wonder why it takes so long to load, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Usually, like for such a large data sites like archived.com, they're
Mm-hmm.
using tapes, like actual, like imagine like VCR tapes, right? But
Yeah.
just for storing, like magnetic tapes, just for storing like a
Yeah,
shit ton
yeah.
of data. And like there's like a physical robot arm that is moving through like the library of these like magnetic tapes, and it takes it and reads it. And that's
Oh.
why it takes so long because there's an actual physical like robot like
There's an actual
going into it.
physical robot just going through all of these.
Yeah,
Come on.
there is. I will try to find like a small video of it. I'll send it to you. It's
I think I've
definitely something.
seen a video of something like that, like they tried in the 90s or something, like to connect everything to it, but it had no arm into it. But how would you do it with an arm? I mean, you must have 1,000 of these things, or just going per second for like every genius that wants to go through this stuff.
I have to turn off my microphone because my mechanical keyboard is definitely very loud.
I hope they have that stuff backed up. It's on a tape, you see, a magnetic tape. I thought they would have transferred it by now.
No. Like magnetic tape is like one of the most reliable storage mediums for long-term storage. Weirdly enough, because like hard drives, like I'm quite into like archiving shit. So hard drives, they can have like if they're inactive for a long time, their bearings can seize, or the gases inside the hard drive can escape. This is actually a very big problem with helium hard drives, because helium is such a tiny atom, it's such a tiny material, it can actually diffuse through metal. So helium hard drives actually have like a limited lifespan. Like after, I don't know if it's 10 or 20 years, but they will stop function guaranteed because the helium is just going to escape through it. And magnetic tapes, like the specific ones, LTO, they're called. There's like LTO 14 now. Not sure. We'll need to double check. They are specifically made to be very reliable and very shelf stable. So for keeping data like this, like for archives of old websites, alive is like the best way to do it. But it's not loading for you, is it?
No, really, no. Maybe thanks to the stream.
Try to refresh the entire like website. Maybe it's something.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, usually it gets up, but I mean, I know for the download speeds for Internet Archive, if I actually want to stream a video, that really fucking slow and doesn't go anywhere for that matter. So.
Oh, look, it loaded.
Yeah, finally. Good. And then go into 2004 if this actually wants to work. Hopefully.
It's surprising how little archiving was like. There was like a gap of archiving. You see that?
Oh yeah, and it's like 2008, 9, 10. Yeah, kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe people have no interest anymore at that time, or
maybe
they just didn't make that much anymore.
But yeah, look at this website, right? Like the way they.
I mean, yeah. Well, there was that, but yeah, it looks very impressive. Yeah, like it's. I mean, yeah, back in the day, it was especially really creative. Nowadays, it's just like more slaving away at their jobs. Let me see.
Enter. Just one enter blinking.
Yeah, this website does it still run on Flash?
I don't even know what. On what magic it
probably
runs.
not now anymore, but back then, oh yeah, everything run on Flash.
Oh, but you see, I was wondering how exactly does archive.org deal with that? Does it have like a Flash emulator on the site?
In place nowadays, so they can just load some things that they to make some animations work. It doesn't work for everything, by the way. I've seen also sites just being pop-ups with crashes everywhere, and that's about it. But you know.
I
don't know. Oh.
Well, actually, it's kind of sad that they don't do this kind of stuff anymore, because, like, back then, the bandit was a huge problem, and now it's not that much a problem anymore. But they've stopped doing it.
Oh yeah.
You know,
sites are not that creative anymore. That's
like
sad reality kind of.
But I think a part of it is because like people don't actually have websites anymore. They have they use other platforms, like they use Facebook or Instagram or Twitter to have their media.
Exactly.
They no longer have, and with those sites you don't have a huge amount of freedom to customize it. I mean, even if it's something that I like, I usually don't even bother to go on the website or even look to see if there is one. And a lot of times, I actually see the website is only like a page that links you to the other sites, like the Facebook, the Twitter, and all this other stuff. It doesn't actually
Yeah,
have unique content for the website. You know, it's kind of
indeed.
weird.
It,
I don't like
I mean, man, like, so was it
I don't know.
Angel Fire or something? Like, there were like a bunch of like hosting services back in the day, like
oh
late
yeah,
90s, early 2000s, and every single person was expected to create their own website, their own personal website.
Yeah, Japan had it a lot. I have a lot of those sites still on
yeah,
my list.
and it
And
has to
then,
have it has to have that text that was on fire, you know, and slow down all computers.
yeah,
If it didn't have
And
that, it wasn't shit.
and what I realized how incredibly difficult it is now to find these websites. Like I try to Google them, right? I try to find them. I try to do like try to find old forums. I don't know how to do that. Like all of the search engines are giving me Reddit, YouTube, Pinterest. Like
yeah, those are kind of like hidden away. Yeah, you have to go a lot of pages down to actually get to an old form, or basically be on archive and just going from one site map to the other. That's how I find a lot of these sites. It's just to finding lots of forums, or you have to like a specific mangaka or a specific anime series, and just going through that and just trying to find that. But like normally, no, you don't get any new forums anymore. Just any small forums like it. Like archive.org is like the best place to really find it, and then try to find those forums back in on the normal web, like. Something with life or something like that. There's also a big forum that they use for different series and whatnot, like
And,
old Japanese forums, basically.
yeah, and I kind of had that experience when I was looking for an obscure OST. Somebody I think had uploaded it. They hadn't even uploaded it directly. They posted a link to where it was on some kind of a Chinese, uh, something like a Chinese torrent site. I don't know what is the equivalent, but it's and it was on a forum that I found this, and it wasn't even the actual forum. It was an archive of the forum, you know. So that was,
Mm,
probably like what 5, 6, 10 pages deep into Google search that I
yeah,
was
yeah,
looking
yeah.
for, you know. So I mean, I'm glad that they, if that forum hadn't been archived, there would have been no way to search for that OST. So just imagine
hmm,
what it's like for all kinds of other stuff, you know. And
man,
imagine,
I
yeah,
I can imagine that because I went through those forums. It's like sometimes I like would have to go to like weird, obscure, like halfway broken website in French, and it's like,
Ah, well, we
but
need.
like I need that information on there, and it's like so difficult sometimes to find something.
yeah,
Ah,
it,
I don't know. Search engines
yeah,
suck now.
it's troubling, you know. It could keep you up at night, you know, if you're into that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely can.
I mean something like a little anime you try to find, but are stuck with it basically
Hmm.
from Studio 4C, obviously.
It's
So
Right.
really,
as far as Studio 4C, like I checked out their current website. Surprisingly, actually, stayed to its roots. So they have like this idea of Beyond City. It's like some kind of lore that they're building, and it appears in their works sometimes. Actually,
You mean
uh,
Beyond?
no, 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 no. Like Beyond City, it's like an entire their own thing. Like for example, they made music videos which are in this city.
Ah,
Uh,
yeah.
right.
yeah,
The fluximation animations.
it's like yes, yes, those are in the Beyond City. It's like very weird lore that they're building around it, and should definitely get more into it, understand more lore about it because it's not obvious. Like you have to like search for details, and everything is in Japanese. God damn it!
But that's why you use Google Translate to fix that stuff. I mean, I use that
Yeah,
for.
quote unquote fix, like create more questions.
I mean, if you want to find some details you really need, then it's usual not to translate whole books or something like that. But I mean, it's a useful
Yeah,
tool for that kind
yeah.
of shit.
But yeah, I might actually like if I find some free time, maybe like yeah, if I'm not too busy, I think I might actually look into this Beyond City because it's
Mhm.
definitely like something that came up a lot when I was like doing that music video research.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
It's
yeah.
very old. It's very old. It's like from the 2000, year 2000 or 2001.
Mm. I
So
mean, yeah, I mean, with like these interactive sites, like it's the same with like interactive DVDs. I mean, I have also a bunch of DVDs. You could just play games into it and just go at all different kind of secrets you could find in kind of DVDs. That was also kind of interesting. And also for C did that also. I've gotten to well like one box set of two DVDs with like really interactive DVDs from Studio
hmm.
4C that I bought like a few years ago. So I have to upload it to those menus with like with all the music videos and all the shorts that they ever put out in the early 2000s. They put it on that box, but and with all kinds of extras and all that kind of shit, but never put it on. I think you helped me with it, or was it somebody else? No, I think pretty much it was you that helped me with it.
It's like yeah, but like it's not even online anymore because like when I go to Nyad.c, it never loads. It's like, is it still a thing anymore? Like I have to resort to like weird Russian websites to find it. Oh, now it works. Okay, never
Oh,
mind.
never mind. It
Now
works
it works. Yeah, for now.
for now. Like with piracy nowadays, it's like Fun Animation is gone under in recent news.
Yeah, I was like, you don't own your shit that you bought.
Hey, all your shit is gone now. You bought this for years and years, and it's like poof.
Oh, whoa, sorry, we made a mistake. I will take all your library. It's like,
Give me your money. I want money, more money. Yes,
yeah,
give me
give money. No, no anime, just money.
just money. It's so dumb. Even the digital copies you got with the Blu-rays are even gone. You can't even access those anymore. So that is part of your money that's just gone up in smoke. And now with Crunchyroll, they put up their subscription per year. You have to buy. You have to do $100 or something like that to get a subscription. Just to
One
catch your
hundred
anime.
dollars for like a year, right?
Yeah. That's why people go now to piracy and other stuff. Yeah, of course, there's some zombies that even going through that shit to get their anime. But like, luckily I never bought anything from Fun Animation, so I don't have that kind of problem wasting my money and my time. So yeah, but I don't know, it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty fucked up for all those people that just had this shit for years, even the recent shit, and it's just all gone in one go. Just
It
pathetic.
definitely is. It's like it's really bizarre how we're in such a situation where the stuff that you can get for free, you own more than the stuff that you buy, and later they just can take it away. Like,
Yeah,
in what world are we living in?
a world of greed and just like malpractices and that don't work. So they either go to physical media, like actual DVDs that they bought, or just Blu-rays, normal Blu-rays, or piracy, and then they get their stuff. I mean, I just did both, so I never had a problem with that kind of shit. But like, it's just so weird. I'm like, not that piracy is any more safe than that. I mean, Kiss Anime went down a few years ago, and other sites just going down one by one, even the big ones. So it's like maybe we're getting back to that time in the moment in time where there was barely any anime and nobody gets anything, which is reverting back to the to the 90s and 80s that nobody could get anything. You just have to have copies
no,
of
you
it.
had to like meet like a shady guy or who has like a VHS tape, and
Yeah,
it's like, yeah.
kind of. And then you wait for weeks and you get some weird hentai. You're like, Fuck.
Damn, but I pay for it, so I'm going to watch it.
Oh shit! I'm going to Fab now.
Oh my god! Oh my god! There's subtitles for it. Fuck yeah!
Hell yeah! I'm gonna get my anti-sub now. Oh no.
Like the subtitles, the yellow
Weird.
subtitles. Mm.
Must have been weird times that you just back in the day just had to wait for weeks for shit just to get the wrong stuff or the wrong stuff downloaded or the wrong stuff physical in your mailbox or something like that. I never had to think about it. Just pop up a website and boom, I'm done.
Mm. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like yeah. I mean, like I wish like something like Steam would happen for anime, right? Like I used to pirate a lot of video games, right?
Mm.
Now I don't like doing that because it's just so much more comfortable to to just buy the game, right? And
Yeah.
on Steam, like it feels at least that I'm owning it. Like it doesn't disappear somewhere. It's been there for a long time. It's comfortable to use. It's like I would rather buy that thing if it's easily accessible. But with anime, I don't know, maybe Japanese mindset how things should work. Nothing seems to work.
No. I know. I mean, if you have to look for like one series, like Netflix might have like 5 seasons, but on Amazon Prime is like the newest season to that series that Netflix don't have. So you have to go through multiple subscriptions just to get the whole series done. I'm like, why would you ever do that shit if you can just download it or see it on some streaming site in one go and just have everything? And even if the site goes down, there's a 10,000 more of these. So, like what would be the point in doing that? That
Yeah.
kind of
If
stuff. You
you
just
want to stop piracy, make the thing accessible and easy to use.
yeah.
But
But of course they don't. It's like copyright problems because Japan is really difficult with it, and these companies are just morons, basically, that want money and just go from one thing to the other. I mean, they also put shows off like Cowboy Bebop or Kia or any other show. They just go like, okay, apparently nobody has interest for this in a couple of months. Let's take it off. And then when
yeah.
just some live action goes up, like, oh no, there's a lots of interest for this again. Now let's put it up back on the site. That's what happened to the live action for Cowboy Bebop. That got back on, so every platform got Cowboy Bebop back on.
Oh, well,
That kind of shit.
by the way, like I never watched the live action. Is it good?
I mean, there's some good actors in it. There's some good stuff in it. Like it actually works. There's also lots of cringe moments that like wouldn't work at all. Like the main guy, the main antagonist, looks a bit too much like a yakuza and too less than his anime counterpart. But it could have gone better. It's basically a remix of everything, basically just everything mixed together. Like episode one is like a remix of the movie of the 2001 movie, and some episodes of the series just in one thing and just sprung out. It's like the basic same story, but a remix, basically. It's yeah, and it got cancelled, so it was not the favorite of everybody. Maybe for some,
Wait, it
but
got cancelled. They didn't manage to finish the original series?
no, the live action. They managed to finish the live action.
Until which episode did they manage to do it?
Episode 10 or something like that. Yeah.
Ay ay ay. Ay ay ay.
They didn't get far with it in any case. But like, I don't know how much episodes were planned back in the day, but I mean, Ed was not even in it. They just shoved him in the last episode. From oh hey, here I am. Yeah, like also an important character that was present in the original show most of the time. So like shown shoehorned that in, and then Valentine became gay for some reason. That doesn't really matter. So then Jet became black. Doesn't also really matter. But he was actually the best actor of the whole bunch. By the
Basically,
way.
they got the full Netflix treatment.
Yeah, basically. Just
Amazing,
change some kind
truly.
of characters and just yeah, it's not the best thing in general. But yeah, for like characters, individual characters, game pirating games. So I'm like, I mean, for some games you just have to, like the game Shadow of the Colossus, for instance. I had to just download the ROM of it and put it on my to the PlayStation 2 because it's just no official copy wanted to run on that thing.
Mhm.
And on another uh, PS2 that I had before, also didn't want to play. So I just had to buy ROM, USB ROM, and just put it in there, and then it worked for some reason. And my potato computer didn't want to run it because it was too slow, so I had to play it in there. That's the problem with consoles. Like, they just don't, port it to other systems so you can replay it. Like another lots of like the majority of games just get stuck on so many consoles and you just can't play them anymore. And just you have to go buy ROMs and other means just to get those games, or else you just stuck with like the games that they have, or like with anime, they just boot them off because they think like, oh no, company gone, game's gone, bye bye. That's
Bye
also
bye.
happening with like some companies.
Yeah, definitely. It's very concerning, especially when we're entering like not entering, when we are in a digital age and there are no
Mm,
physical copies of things. Things can just disappear.
yeah,
Yeah, back in the day, at least you would like I don't know have like a CD release or something physical. Nowadays,
yeah,
like things can just disappear.
yeah. I mean, CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays still get made, so we still get some stuff. Thing. You know, in our
Yeah,
hands.
but that's because Japanese are stubborn. Thank God
True,
for that. But
true, true. True.
oh,
Same with copyright system. I'm like, not so long ago, the company, what was it, Tokyo Lab? Yeah, Tokyo Lab was just holding all these old animes that had all or no copyrights or had some copyrights and wanted to destroy it all because the company was closing down. And then people were not happy with that, or else we would just lose all that stuff. Then they shipped it over to Kyoto or something like that. Yeah, another studio stuffed it over to it. And it got saved, but we don't know how they preserve it, or it's just all kind of rotting away because of the humidity there. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's still there, but also not, because a lot of the stuff is just kind of, dying literally as we speak. So, yeah. And
yeah,
Japanese also really stubborn to give any of it to us because, copyright and the culture, etc., etc. Yeah, but if we don't do anything about it, then the whole thing might just be gone and we can't have any chance to
restore
preserve.
anything or
Yeah.
preserve. Yes, truly. Well, talking about disappearances, my time has come to go.
Ah,
Sadly,
sadness.
but I enjoyed this podcast, and I think I'll be on the next one.
Yeah, 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 sure, man. Sure, man. We're not. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
He's playing
was
again.
and Qbhall came back. Oh,
Oh
that's great.
yeah,
I didn't even know you were.
I'm leaving the audience to you.
yeah.
Okay, see you
I've been
guys.
Yeah,
backstage for a
yeah,
while. I'm not sure if I was forgotten or what.
yeah. Didn't even know you were gone.
Yeah, you see. Oh, so now you need me. Now you need me. That
Yes, he's gone now. I need somebody to run the show, or else we're just
Ah,
stranded.
right, right.
But oh well, like yeah, even with the Wayback Machine, we can't get it. It can't be up forever because even that site is being archived by itself. But like, who's gonna see that if the site is gone? Yeah, nobody. So like, yeah, that's the problem with archiving sites. You just give something a second life, but you don't know how long that's gonna last. So it's like, is it all for something? Is it all for nothing? But I don't know. It's for something at least. And in any case, people get to see it again, like the manga that I scanned in, or other stuff that's been put on. And at least
Well,
they
I
get
mean,
stuff again. So
you know, e- every time something is re-archived in any other ways, it's only for a time. Every time, if that makes sense. It's
yeah,
because something's gonna have to come and replace archive. At some point. Um,
mm,
I'm wondering. I'm wondering about the tapes though. Like eventually they'll have to move them to some kind of solid state device.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You mean the tapes for the Wayback Machine?
Right. Like they need to like right now Flash is still far too expensive to do that kind of mass archiving. So
Yeah, I mean, maybe they just transfer over to some new tapes and just use that and just go from tape to tape. I mean, I don't think they have been using the same tape since the beginning of the internet, literally since this site has begun functioning. So,
well, I mean I do think that sometimes you'll be surprised, because I've heard I don't have a lot of experience for the sand, but I've often heard that a lot of important things online are run by surprisingly old um, tech. Um,
hmm,
like yeah, like I mean, you wouldn't think uh, that they're even still making tapes, but look at how important it is, and this is like important historical records on something that you would think would be obsolete.
hmm.
I, I'm sure the newer stuff isn't archived on tapes, but I could be wrong. But he did mention that because of the age of that is why it was moving much slower, I think.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, like, you still have like the Voyager 1 still being managed by the old tech from the 70s. So, like,
Yeah,
some tech is really robust and can survive that long and can be used again. So, I'm like, yeah, why not use this for the Internet Archive or some other websites or other things that's going to be used. I mean, some companies even used like I know an airfield that like used like Windows 3.1 or something like that for like the navigation systems or something like that. Somewhere in America, they used that for a long time. So the government came in and like, maybe you should update that. Maybe that's a bit dangerous if that just crashes and just you have a
but
problem with it.
yeah, I think. But it's like the more complex a system becomes, the more susceptible to crashing it becomes.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So in that respect, I think there actually is some merit to letting it remain um, on the old Windows or the old other operating system.
yeah. Mm.
You know, because like I'm sure I don't know if you ever really experienced it, but moving from Windows 7 to 10 was uh, well for me I didn't like it at all because it's like Windows 7 was like a good simple operating system. You could make it look just like old time. It didn't have to
Yeah,
phone
yeah, I
home
used
all
it
the
back in
time.
the day.
Yeah, you know. And Windows 10 and 11 is phoning home constantly. Like and when it's doing updates, which you can't disable, um,
Mm.
at least not easily, it slows down the whole computer. Like especially if you have like a older computer, that's gonna be a problem. You know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, the more powerful it is, the less old computers can use to even use with it. And like Windows 7 was like strong enough, like that most computers could run it, but even that gets
Yeah,
obsolete. And then you
exactly.
know,
So it's a big problem. Yeah, like people in the third world, it can become a huge problem because they stuck using old time computers. You know.
mm.
So yeah, I've seen like a lot of cases where Windows updates on its own. You
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is really annoying, and then your whole computer has to restart, and then etc. etc. etc.
Yeah,
Of
but
course,
but
you can
even worse
change.
than that, I've seen like where the computer can't even run it afterwards because it's like, yeah, well, it turns out we've run an update, but it turns out your computer is too shit to run it. So we didn't run that check before. We run it now, and just to tell you that you have an unusable machine now. I've seen that.
Mm.
You know,
I
you
mean,
you'd think, yeah,
yeah. They also, with Windows XP, they also thought for the longest time, even if it was highly outdated years ago, they still could use it because it was so promoted to be the strongest and the most secure and etc etc etc. So people, even companies, still used it for like the longest time. For some reason, and then Windows 7, companies probably still use it. I mean, I don't think anybody is using any Windows XP at this point legitimately anymore. But I mean, for even Windows 10, they say like the Windows 10 is gonna become obsolete in the future somewhere, like in the not so distant future. So that's also kind of like maybe we're moving too fast from thing to thing. But security and all that kind of shit, you have to update. But if you can't have a lasting program for long, then this is gonna become a problem. And then you have between 7 and 10 Windows 3 stuff is also I had, which was also not that great because lots of different stuff was not available there. So like in here, like the side panel was not here. Like for the start menu and other shit was just different. So it was not that fun to use back in the day. I can remember, but oh well. I mean, it's the same with like security systems on this. This is also really annoying. What's the most annoying security system again? What was the most security system again? McAfee. Yeah, of course, McAfee. McAfee was like in the beginning worked was real fine, and now they're just blocking stuff that are actually legal or actually just that won't harm your computer because you check them enough to know that they won't harm your computer. But you still have to checklist it every time to let it work. So that's also, oh god damn it. I mean, god damn it. I've been just talking to myself, haven't I? Great. Anyway, where was
No,
I?
I'm here.
Yeah. But you were gone again, so I thought so. It was like
No,
on
no,
the other.
I heard all of that. I heard that stuff.
Oh, you're you were just gone for came back to StreamYard. You were just gone, and I'm like, oh great, happy to talk to myself at this time. I'm like, kind of, but oh well, you get my point at least. Like the McAfee not being the best nowadays. You can just secure the computer, but you have to checklist everything to let it work.
Yeah,
Basically.
I think this might be a sidebar, but I think in real life the McAfee guy was kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They had a whole manhunt for him out because he was just, getting drugs from every place, having mentions and doing other illegal stuff, and just yeah, he was pretty out there.
You know,
Eventually, they got him, but
so, some might say living his best life. You know, I'm not saying I'm saying that. Some might say that.
I mean, he thought that probably it was just kind of the life that he wanted to live, probably. But like, I mean.
Hey,
Funnily
uh,
enough, he even thought that his own company has gone to shit, and it's just like the security was not that great anymore, and it was just doing unnecessary stuff that wouldn't work nowadays.
yeah, it's like even the antivirus is just getting heavier and heavier. Like you can't run that on an older machine. You know,
Mm.
and I am not sure that it's doing that much more. Uh, I mean, I'm no computer security expert, but our new viruses really require so much more bloated software to stop. I'm not convinced about that.
Mm.
If that makes sense,
Mm.
because they are, yeah, I don't know. You still have a Windows computer, right? There's the Steam Deck and the
Yeah,
laptop,
yeah,
right? Yeah. You use any antivirus with it?
yeah. McAfee is on it, and it runs also Windows 10. But I mean, it both works, but not the best I can think of.
Yeah. So imagine how heavy McAfee is now. If you run that on your older computer, I'm sure it'll grind to a halt. You know.
Mm.
Yeah, like, and well, don't even bother to put Windows 10 on it, you know. Don't even put
Mm,
digits near it. It's gonna be a problem. Yeah.
yeah, fuck. I mean, my computer's not that old. I mean, it's a few years old now, so it's not like a 10-year-old computer or something like that, or from like the Windows XP era or something like that. So, like, it's not that old, but it's also a potato. It can't run the best stuff, basically. It can run some old FPS games. It's just the internet, etc., etc., etc. But beyond that, yeah. And yeah, also some programs that just pop up when you start up. I also had to turn off a lot of that shit just to run it a bit more smoothly. So like,
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
so
And that
that's why I use my Steam Deck and not that computer because it wouldn't really run that well. And with my laptop, obviously, I had in the past problems with my audio problems I had in the past, so that was also not that great. But oh well. And
well,
yeah, well, hmm?
no, no, I'm just saying. So this right now you're running this stream from what? From
Steam
your
Deck.
laptop or the
No,
Steam Deck?
Steam Deck.
Okay, okay. So how were you able to? Is this running in a browser, or how are you
Yeah,
getting?
yeah, it's all running in the Windows now in the desktop mode basically, and then on a browser.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So the as long as there's a web version of an app, you would have no problems running it.
Well, my laptop just had some audio issues. I mean, it just could normally stream. That wouldn't be really a problem. I never really tested with like sharing my own screen, for instance. I never tried that because my laptop is not that powerful at all. So it probably wouldn't really work. So, and the Steam Deck is just way more powerful and way more powerful chips on it to run stuff. I can't open too many programs though, or else that would just crash like I did a few times in the past. But it works better than my laptop and my PC, basically in a nutshell.
Okay, and which model was this? How much was this one?
It was like 500. Yeah, this thing was 500. It's like the middle range model. It's like the lowest model, middle range, and then the highest. And that's a bit more, basically.
Okay.
Also customizable, blah, blah, blah.
Well, you know what? I think is in general, I think in some ways is a good value because
Hmm.
I think Steam Valve actually goes in and optimizes a lot of the games individually, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. So from that alone, I think you might get better performance than if you had a equivalent Windows based computer. Uh,
Mm, mm.
you know, because like I see a lot of these kind of they're similar devices, but they run in Windows. So I imagine they have a lot more overhead to deal with just because of that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Much more thinging running in the background that would just hinder it, or just many more programs that just run way too much,
Right.
way too high to really let it work.
Can you see that they have what is it? They have the Steam they have the OS the Steam OS running on other systems. I don't know if you've seen that.
Mm.
So they took Steam Deck and they have it on other non Steam Deck hardware.
Oh, that way. I mean, yeah. I mean, did I? Other products that it runs on? Not really. I mean, this basically uses Linux to run it. Basically, that's basically what this uses. But
Right, but
yeah, I mean,
well, what I'm wondering is that if it will give like kind of a boost to like because it's supposed to be optimized for um like lower spec hardware. I wonder if like using the SteamOS on other systems will give it a boost. You know, cause
yeah. I mean, if they use it from scratch and not with like in Windows itself, then maybe like its own program system, then like maybe that would work. I don't think for I don't think it's probably a bit too heavy for like older computers or like potato computers in general. It's not the weakest stuff ever. It has a lot of customizable options in it to get everything. But you can also get it so low as you want. So it probably would run, I think, if you get set everything low enough and not on the highest, because a lot of this thing is set on high, for instance. So that's why it works on this thing. But if it's set lower, then it would probably get maybe more out of it, I guess, or like I don't know how much. I mean, I haven't dabbled in that deep into this thing because there's a lot to customize. I mean, it took me a long time to get even screenshots up on this thing. I didn't know where you would have an inbuilt program for screenshots. Eventually found it a few days ago to screenshot some things for my vid I want to do for the channel for like the 2003 2007 anime of Blame. And that works pretty well. Can also fully customize the image that I want to crop or censor things out, etc., etc., etc. So that's pretty nice. So yeah, so far it works pretty well. It's a bit of a knack to get all this information though, to get it all numbered up in an folder and just going by thing. But I don't know, it's getting there. I'm getting a few things more, like from BlameNet and other stuff that I found to put on there, or else you know. But oh well. Ah, god damn it. Oh well, at least you heard me, so that's good.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I don't know why it's continuously dropping out.
Hmm.
For little microseconds, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, well. Well, other news. Went to the store today, manga store, and bought some manga. Oh well, bought one manga, just One Punch Man, volume 27. For 27 volumes, I've been into this thing. Never thought it would last this long, but I still got it.
Yeah,
And then I got that other manga that I saw a bunch of manga that were re-uploaded. I saw Sunken Rock being in store. I saw Helsing being back in store, and I saw that Lovecraft manga being back in store that you read up till now. What was it called again? E- Oh yeah, Yomotsuhigyu or something like that. Yeah, that's like volume one is being the Tree of Death is being published in English. It's kind of expensive. Like for $20 you can find volume one in store. Like Christ, these stores are really getting just starting to get money out of kids. But what's the point of that? I'm like, who's gonna buy that? Even the secondhand manga are really expensive. Like it goes from some manga like Blame Master Edition going from 40 to 20 or 23 or something like that. That's not secondhand anymore. That's just normal prices you find online. So it's like, why? What's the
oh
point
yeah,
of
like
it?
that kind of stuff happens here. Like the company would the business would rather just keep stuff on the shelf forever than than
And
even
never
reduce
sell
the
it.
price. Yeah, than reduce the price. They rather just because they're thinking like like I think it's like a question of how big is the audience for this? If the audience is small, then they're gonna buy it. You
Hmm.
know, if the people that are likely to buy this, if there's a large number, then maybe they'll adjust the price because a lot of other stores would have it. But if it's a niche product, they know they have you over the barrel, basically. You know
Hmm.
that they could charge what they want. Yeah, I've seen it like in physical stores here um with games. They don't ever reduce the price. It doesn't seem so.
Hmm.
And even for use, it's almost the same. So like what has happened now is that the situation is kind of so bad with physical stores that and the rent is so high that a lot of stores locally they don't even have a physical location. You know, they have
Hmm. Yeah, it's
they
just
have
an
like a
online store basically.
yeah, well, not even to say that they're buying online and selling online. Like you meet in a public location, you know, or
Hmm.
Sometimes people meet by police stations just for safety. Because the rent is so outrageous that it's impossible to make a profit basically. If you have and especially for niche products like that, like in Trinidad, like you don't have a lot of places selling manga, you know,
Hmm.
and not a lot
Yeah.
of people willing to buy physical manga, so it's difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine. I mean, in the Netherlands it's a bit easier, but it's just like some of these stores just sell for like ridiculous prices. You can just get online for way lower. So that's what I often do, except for like something I'm like, okay, it is low enough, so I just buy it. But I remember being One Punch Man way lower. I mean, I remember it like 11 euros or something like that. And now it's 16 per volume. 16, it's One Punch Man. You sold this for like $10 back in the day. The hell happened? Well, like inflation, obviously, and the pandemic and all that jazz happened. So yeah, then your manga becomes also an even more expensive hobby. I mean, it was already expensive, but yeah, I mean it's the same with like book depository. I mean, for before Brexit, I mean those prices were low, like the best prices you ever seen online, basically for physical manga. I mean, I bought all the time from there. Then that happened, and then it got way more expensive because the company is based in England, or like the stuff that I get from is from England. So that got way more expensive, but still bought from it because it was way more less than stores and other places. So still bought from them, but now it's gone. So it's like, what's left? I mean, Amazon apparently is for some manga really cheap. So sometimes I get it from there or other stores. So it's like, yeah, times are changing. So me
Yeah, like
even. Hmm?
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you have even manga like Helsing, for instance, like single normal Takabon versions of Helsing for like $20 in store. I'm like, who's gonna buy that? You can just buy that online for way cheaper. Buy like the master editions for like cheaper online for that. Like, why would you buy it in a store for like $20? I mean, you look at it, but not buying it. But yeah, go ahead. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I mean it's difficult. It's like the stores are charging ridiculous prices, and they still. I do think that people that want physical copies are getting less and less. So is like are they gouging their few loyal customers more to try to make up the difference? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little counterintuitive because the few customers that still support physical, they're being charged more unfairly, right?
Yeah.
But I do understand that the stores overall they're making less money because people are buying them less anyway. So it's like a catch 22 kind of a thing. Uh, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the solution is. Is
Yeah. I mean, for like individual stores, they just want to get as much money as possible because it's just one store. And if it's like, a string of stores, just like in different cities, then, you get reduced prices and it gets a little bit less than like, then it's going to be like a better deal you're getting. But like nowadays, there's not much difference between an individual store and like a chain store, for instance, like thanks to like the current prices going up, etc., etc., etc. It's basically the same price almost, like maybe €1, $1 less or more sometimes. But yeah, you mean with if you have a card, for instance, you get 10% off, and and one just a single store you get 5% off. So like that makes kind of a difference, but yeah, it's not for the manga collector. It's not the best time around. Basically, it was basically for breakfast before Brexit. The best time to buy manga online, especially on Book Depository and other sites. But oh well, maybe it gets less one day. Who knows? But oh well. There's always reading online, obviously, and reading other stuff. But oh well.
yeah. Well, I mean, reading online is for people here, a lot of people that is just literally all that could be afforded. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like even although there's yeah, how is the there are legitimate digital manga
Right?
websites, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but the question is how many of them work here? You know, because like
Mm.
a lot of stuff works here in theory, but when it comes down to the wire, is it could be quite different. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but
It
yeah,
just works sometimes or not at all. Or some sites works the other day and others just crap
yeah,
out.
like with Netflix, you know, we have to continuously be playing a game and keep up. Where
Mm.
we would have to change the some DNS setting. We would have to continuously be changing it, and this is for a
Mm.
legitimate account, eh?
Mm.
A legitimate Netflix
Just to get
account.
it
So
working, basically.
yeah, and so it was like, well, why do we even do this? Let's just go on the website. They don't care where we are, you know.
No, no. If they don't even want you to watch their stuff, then you just watch it illegal. Like, what's the point of that?
Exactly. You know, like when they had Mandalorian, you know, Disney Plus didn't even work here.
Mm.
You know, so everybody went on the sites. You know, if they had, but I mean, like realistically, Trinidad is such a small market that there is not really a loss for them. I would imagine.
Yeah, no,
You
no,
know,
I don't think so. No. I mean, like, and especially with a service that's early, like that just launched, that's like the least countries strapped onto it, and when it lives on longer, you get more countries off of it. But even a small third world country, like no, they're not really caring about it. Like same with Africa, like a lot of countries in there just not gonna be connected to that because they don't have anything to begin with. So it's like, yeah, it's not the best solution, obviously.
but I mean, it might surprise you. A lot of people still buy. They may not buy the actual product, but they might be able to buy. They might buy merch. You know,
Mm.
you know, all the stuff. You know, figurines, bags, that kind of stuff. It's
Mm.
kind of weird. It's almost like I know that a lot of anime doesn't even make money directly. It only makes money in like ancillary goods, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Merchandise, you know. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
uh, I think that piracy is probably almost not that much of a problem.
Mm.
Like the piracy of the anime itself doesn't really lead to a lot of losses because the real money is probably made in like selling stuff,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know. Because even it's interesting that even after all this time, people still like physical memorabilia, you know.
yeah.
Like I sure you have some CDs there that you mostly have them for the sake of collecting, for having a physical
Yeah.
uh you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I get your point. I mean, with CDs, not really, because it's mostly like CDs. I have them because it's nowhere else to play really except in YouTube. But I want to have a physical version of it. But yeah, I mean, I have some Blu-rays that literally serve that purpose just for my collection, or like really older media that I can't play on anything, like with YKK, for instance, or other stuff that's like, yeah, it's just for the collection and not that much else, for instance.
Oh, so the CDs that I have, they weren't available online. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, the music is not online on like streaming services or other platforms except for YouTube on low quality. So if you have a CD, then I have the best quality for what I can get with it, and I get just the original package with it. So I just like buy and listen to these CDs because there's no other way to listen to high quality stuff other than that. Because they won't never be streamed anywhere because who the hell knows these, for instance, like the Helsing CDs, for instance, or like AKK or other stuff that I have. Or like with Tool was that the longest thing till they got streaming.
Okay, that's interesting. So have you ever uploaded the high quality soundtracks?
For one CD, I did once. So, like one CD that was supposedly inspired by Blame. It had like the same naming going on with like one of the DVDs from 2003, like Sibo 0.11 or something like that was in the title. And the seller in Japan thought it was for Blame. I was not sure, and I was curious was what was on it. So I asked the guy on Discord from like, hey, how can I upload these? Got some instructions. He helped me some, and then I put it on my own channel, not on this channel, but on other channels. So yeah, one CD once, and
Okay,
I have.
I,
Hmm?
I need to send you some rare soundtracks for you to upload. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd probably have the best idea as to where would be the best site to upload it to avoid takedown. Because, like you said, if it's not available, then what's the point? It's not
Yeah,
even. Uh, and the weird thing is sometimes the shows are uploaded. The movie that it's from is uploaded to YouTube, but not the soundtrack. So
yeah. Then it's like they just found it somewhere, or if they have it from their own copy, uploaded somewhere, but everything else around it is just gone or just stuck on some medium and nobody can get to it. Yeah, that's sometimes the problem. Yeah, like there's some like the movie is just well known enough uh to get online at some point, but everything besides this is like, yeah, who knows about it anymore, who has it, and they just barely care about it or just don't know about it, how to get it, and gets dumped to the wayside or gets crept along for the ride like in coming years. I mean, I've been subscribed to some YouTubers that do that, that just find all these finals and CDs and whatnot and put them online because nobody else does it, because nobody else knows about it, basically.
yeah, it's crazy. And it's like sometimes it's stuff that you'd think would be more taken care of, you know?
Yeah.
Like Pokemon advertisements, like I think I saw a, a suggested video where it was they found a Pokemon advertisement, and it's like this was the biggest thing at the time in the 90s. You're telling me somebody lose this for all these years?
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe misschien not all lost, but just like has little to no interest to upload it, or just people don't think really about it, or like I don't know, we're only interested into the movie and the rest is just kind of like I don't know, forgotten. I mean, it happens to a lot of manga and novels, for instance. Like you have an anime series that's popular enough to be online, and then you have a novel series somewhere, but nobody knows how to really get it or has scans through it, and just kind of gets by the wayside and gets kind of forgotten, or like people just barely know about it, making some YouTube video about it, and that's about it. What gets done by that? Till somebody thinks like, okay, let me actually buy this shit, scan it in, and then put it online. But like, it's like only the most majority like newest manga get put online if they not get struck down by some copyright law or some other country or whatever they try to put on. So it's like kind of like, and also the quality in which they can try to scan in stuff, for instance. But yeah, going back on CDs, so like I've also read a CD of Radiohead, "Hell to the Thief," and it is a leaked version of them. Then somebody put it as a bootleg CD. So you have a bootleg CD from a leaked version that's not online, or like tried to be a couple of times online, but just got taken down. So you basically got a bootleg CD of something of a version of it from an album that's not online. So yeah, bootleg is then sometimes handy to have, like it's preserved in some way than just be gone forever, just leaked one time and just be gone. So I don't know. It's kind of fun to have. So maybe I try to put that at one point in time online, but who knows really. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. What else did I have?
What have you been reading exactly?
What I've been reading. What I've been reading. I have been reading the newest Shadow over Ismov manga by Go Tanabe. Been reading that for a couple of months
Ah,
now. It's pretty good. Art really works well with the original story. Also, it's a bit it do be a bit difficult to actually get through to it with the English being pretty difficult to understand because the 30s and Lovecraft being Lovecraft, so it's also pretty difficult. But it's a pretty good read altogether so far. And I've been reading One Punch Man 27 that I got today. With like a
okay.
big battle that's going on. It's like
Don't
hmm?
don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. But
No, 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 no.
are,
Didn't even know you read it.
no, but are they actually uh, 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 are they, do they ever actually get into to how exactly he's so strong? Is that or is that
Well, that was explained by the doctor. The doctor with the gorilla and the giant lab, basically. Was kind of
okay?
explained by him. He just literally threw so much training that he basically put off his limiter and he can just do whatever he wants basically. He just has no
Okay.
limit to his body or to his strength, so he just can go on. That's the same with Goro. That happens of Garo. I mean, that happens right now basically. I don't know if it's get to that point, right, because I just read the physical forms then online, so I'm not really up to date to the chapters, but that's basically the explanation you get with him. It's not really getting deeper than that with his strength or how and what. I mean, with one character, with Tornado, we got a bit of backstory with her, and like first time in like 27 volumes or that I can remember of. So yeah, I mean, they're basically battling like a big babe at this point. That's the biggest spoiler I can give you. But it's worth it. It's a bit slow to getting to the real action, but I mean, the battles are worth it. It's like especially in this volume, the battles are worth it. Getting as big as like volume 7 against a spaceship against Boris, for instance. So yeah, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. But man, I didn't
Uh,
know it was this long though.
well, is so it started off as kind of like a meme, but it actually grew into something beyond that.
I mean, yeah, by one it just started as a webcomic originally, and then from there it's just as something as fun to make for himself basically, and just the beginning of the plot was just a guy that can just one punch something in one go, and that was the beginning of the plot really, and that's it, and just going from monster to monster, and then the other manga, another artist, Murata, came in and really liked this stuff and wanted to turn it into a manga, and then it got its actual plot and everything got actually rolling, and then even once uh, webcomic changed to the plot of the new manga that was made of One Punch Man. So they got an actual story with the monster association and the monster cells and etc. etc. And then it got its actual thing going on, basically. Its actual plot going on.
So you think you think he had all this planned at the beginning, or he was just kind of going? You know what? If it gets far, we'll come up with the stories then. We'll come up with the explanation then.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just in the beginning, so it's like it didn't go for too long for the plot to just be, Saitama just one punching somebody and just that's it. So it didn't go on for too long to get some plots behind it. You didn't have to explain everything that was in the beginning, just a bit in the beginning, and that's it. And then it just got its own plot and just got the ball rolling, basically. Even get somebody else to watch the first anime. thought it was pretty good, pretty entertaining. So yeah, that's something at least.
I hear a lot of people didn't like as much the second season.
No, no, no. With the coloring and the lack of action and not really being much going on in the plot, and yeah, that's also in the manga, not much going on really. So that's why basically. But now there's a lot going on the last couple of volumes, and especially this volume is like the main battle is just even more gigantic than the last one with Boros. So yeah, it's getting pretty good. Like the art is obviously top notch. Obviously, some people
Nice.
just read it for the girls, for instance, like this one,
Well, like
the
many
little sister
things,
of Tornado, basically. Yeah.
like you think you'll be able to stick the landing though.
Hmm.
You think you'll be able to have a satisfying end though, because like a lot of
Yeah,
stuff
I
at it.
mean, I don't know. Some people thought it just going on. It's been going on for too long, the whole manga itself. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the ending might be like, oh, Saitama is happy now with what he is, and it just gives up on the thing of like just going that he can't get any fun out of strength anymore. So I have to get fun out something else or something like that. We get some open ending like that. I don't think he's gonna die anytime soon. So like, it's One Punch Man, and else the whole manga would just be done and over with. So there's no point in that. But I mean, I don't think it's gonna be in one. It's gonna be in One Piece that's just going on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and it's just getting no end to it. I mean, One Piece is now getting in its last arc, and it's also getting in its anime being redone from episode one for some
What?
reason. Yeah,
Wait, so are they doing this? So it's going to be an entire reboot series for filler.
bingo, bingo.
Okay.
From
So how?
what studio did it again? Attack on Titan. What studio did that make?
Not Wit or Mappa?
Mappa. Yeah, Mappa. Mappa is making a new. Of no, Wit. No, Wit is making the new. Uh, what's Mappa? Oh well, I can look it up. It's making it from the ground up, basically. New One Piece.
Well, I'll say this: Wit is pretty great. So uh,
Mm-hmm.
Wit is like a pretty good well, pretty good is an understatement.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me see. Any manga. That's not what I mean. Anime.
Damn. So they have a 1,000 episode. Uh,
Yeah, which studio? Yeah, here it is. Which studio?
Holy shit! So these guys have been. Let's assume that they do the. You know what I think is gonna happen? I think it's gonna be too expensive, and then they're gonna switch to another studio like Mappa. Uh,
Maybe somewhere down the line, yeah, they're gonna just. I mean, I think they're gonna skip some filler episodes, obviously, because who's gonna make like 1,100 episodes or like 1,000 plus episodes or something like that? Who's gonna make all that from the ground up? That's gonna take a long fucking while. So like, I think they're gonna skip some stuff, obviously, or else they're never gonna get to it. But it's still gonna be a tall order, obviously, to make it all. And why even make it from the ground up? Obviously for money. What else? I'm like,
well,
why not do this shit?
no, I haven't even finished episode one.
Yeah,
Just a heads up. So
neither do I. I just have watched some random episodes, but I'm never gonna get into it. Like, I don't really care at this point. Like it's way too long for me. I'm like, yeah, I have other stuff to read. Really, it's just other stuff to finish. So, like, it's not really worth it for me to do that. Mm. But yeah, new animation basically. Let me go to that side.
So they is that is the first visual they upload?
Yeah, that's the first the visual thing that I made. Yeah, for it. One Piece is getting another adaptation, new anime based on the manga series by Oda is going to Netflix and will be animated by Wits. Series by X Family, Attack on Titan. Because from Netflix announced a new anime remake on Sunday with a special announcement video. It will be called The One Piece. It will follow the same story as the manga, starting with East Blue Saga, partnership, official television network, and Toei Animation Co. Studio creates a currently running version. Studio that creates a current running version of the One Piece anime. So they will just run with the studio that makes the original series at this point. Well, we're making the series, so while the original series is still Aang may sound strange, it does make a lot of sense. But it didn't start that way. I mean, it was produced on a slightly more limited budget by Toei and with older animation techniques. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
wait, the current series is gonna be cancelled then, or what?
Yeah. No, no. Here says, but yeah, while making the series with the original version is still airing, may sound strange. It does make a lot of sense. One Piece being a global phenomenon now, but it didn't start that way, and much of the show was produced under a slightly more limited budget by Toei with older animation techniques. I think it will still finish. I mean, you get so far, and then waiting for this show to catch up to the ending, maybe kind of dumb. I'm like, it's not like Bleach, for instance, that we wait for like nearly 10 years for like last season to play out or something like that. It's not
Oh
something like
yeah, yeah. Like a lot of people did wait literally 10 years, right?
that. Yeah, nearly something like that for the new series. Like that's for like the last season. I mean, if you have to wait for like 1,000 episodes to get to the last season of One Piece, I'm like, who's gonna watch that? Like only only some idiots are gonna do that. So no, I think they will finish up that and then just go on with the new series of it. But like, Christ,
It's
I
interesting. It's interesting though. I don't think anything like this has ever been done.
mean, well, it's well still airing. No,
Yeah,
I
while it
can't
was
really
still airing.
remember
That
a
is,
show that did that. No, but still airing to get a new version of a story just to yeah no. I mean, I've heard of reboots and like those are plenty, but no, not as well as it still was airing. No. Yeah, that's something new.
man, that's
Let's
so weird. But like, all right. So what it sounds like is they'll kind of use the new episodes to reboot only the beginning episodes because the
see.
reboot is not exactly the word, but let's say to supplement then, supplement the existing episodes,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm. I mean, yeah. I mean, so far I think they're just gonna skip some filler episodes and then getting more with the story, just to get quicker to the end and just literally make everything, or else we're getting long if we have to wait week to week to watch that. Which I'm not gonna do. So I'm like, you know. But yeah, I don't really know. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do this because I never really seen this kind of thing. Just being, it's like, oh, poof, we're gonna do this. Yay, fun.
Yeah, and here's what's weird is like that's almost as crazy as like they reboot the freaking Suicide Squad and they keep some of the characters, which is like, what is this? What am I looking at here?
I
You
mean,
know?
yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah, that's also weird, and also weird that they're trying to make an isekai out of it. That's of course they're gonna make an isekai out of it because that's the Suicide Squad. They die, so they go to another world. So it's like, yeah, but who though? Whoever wants to see that. Yeah, some idiot wants to see that, but the anime being anime, doing shit like that. Um,
It's weird. It's like in the past there was this clear delineation between, look, this is Western media and this is Eastern media, you know.
mm.
And now there's kind of a mixing. You remember the Batman anime? I thought that was interesting.
Ah, Batman anime. Yeah, 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 yeah. I heard of that. Saw bits of that.
Yeah, I actually thought it was pretty interesting.
I mean,
You know,
yeah, 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 yeah.
you remember the Animatrix? I don't know if you remember that.
Anyway, Twitch, yeah, yeah, yeah. I still have to finish that though, but yeah, I've seen enough of that. It's also
Yeah, so
about animators.
it's kind of like that. Where they
Mm.
usually they have different directors. You know, do short parts. Right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, the recent thing that I watched was Morse Express, like with Montech. No, somebody else talked about. I don't remember. No, it was Montech. I think talked about that. Something like
Oh yeah, I
that.
think it was him. Yeah. So you
Yeah,
saw it.
I
You saw it
mean,
in cinema.
yeah, it's in cinema right now. It's been released like the eighth, like worldwide, something like that, in cinemas. And yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, it had some influence from Ghost in the Shell, obviously, and maybe for the ending, a bit of Soma, you could say. It was kind of a
Oh
spoiler,
shit.
but it's pretty damn good. The animation was also really well done. Some plot points that don't really. They or were like plot twists that I really didn't expect, or like stuff you forget early on and then it happens again, or just converting your expectations. But yeah, I mean, it was a solid cast. I mean, the being completely French with subtitles was a bit hard to get used to because they speak a lot and like really quick, so it was a bit difficult to follow. But I mean, it worked really well so far. I mean, basically, the plot is that robots are helping humanity, and then some people that die gets their mind copy to be put in a machine for people to still help, basically, but they still keep humanity and keep their memories intact. So they're basically themselves, but then as a copy as a robot, and which basically Soma in a nutshell, but like a brain scan and then just put in a robot. Yeah, play that, and then later on, uh, but there's then a new line of machines. That's basically organic machines that they try to implement, and then the whole story gets around a big corporation and whatnot. But I don't know, and some good visuals, lots of action too. It was also pretty worth it. CGI was not for some background stuff like cars and other vehicles, not the best thing ever, but it's like natural. It's not the worst thing ever. Like it's just some background stuff you see sometimes, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. But yeah, overall it was pretty good experience. I saw it on a festival in just before it launched in another city.
No, that's good. You know, I'm glad that I mean, you know, obviously anime will always be a thing, but I'm glad that there's still hand drawn animated movies in the cinema still.
Hmm.
You know,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Obviously, I'm like, well,
well,
uh,
I mean, you say obviously, but I don't think there's been one in Trinidad for quite a while.
I
Uh,
mean, no, no. I mean, not for in cinemas, but just mean anime movies or like animation movies, just made in general for like an older demographic, like us, for instance, that just really tries to have a story than just be like some edgy story for teenagers or for kids, like you see mostly nowadays, than just actually something that like even people that are not anime fans could watch and enjoy and just think of like, oh, that was a good movie. Then just think, oh, it's just some animation that just tries to be edgy or hard or really cutesy or whatnot. So it just tries to be, an actual story that people could care about. More in that sense than actually being in cinema, because like only so many people actually go to cinemas. It's just people like me that's gonna be the nuts. But well, you get my point.
Yeah, that's good. I think that more people having home studios will lead to interesting things. It wasn't even 10 years ago. It wasn't as easy as it is now. Like it's probably the easiest it's ever been. To
Yeah,
get
oh
enough,
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, to get enough stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, people stuff getting it's easier to get on to be online and just to find anything you want to watch, or just streaming somewhere of some secondary device to watch it on a bigger screen, go to a cinema and whatnot, and to watch it there. But yeah, no, yeah, no, it's a really bit to find out. Yeah, and also in this movie, it's like also all of robots that get jailbroken also get destroyed because they just get kind of self-aware, but not fully self-aware. So there's like a whole system in the movie that robots actually get self-aware of their actions and what they really want to do. Like here, for instance, like some school student put some programs in a computer in a robot and actually got to have its own soul, for instance, like you see with like in other movies seen in the past, like uh the movie with Will Smith. What was it called again?
iRobot.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Basically, it's getting your own personality and just asking yourself like, what's really has a computer really a soul? Well, not that cliche, but they're kind of past that cliche and they go more into like what's next for robots in a sense. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna get be on Blu-rays, and then it's gonna get online. So hey, if you have a chance, go watch it. It's pretty a solid watch. Really, it's more a detective story than just be action. So, but it's a good mix of both. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, it was the. I think you familiar with the website Katsuka, right?
Katsukara. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a French guy that just
Okay.
goes after all kinds of animations. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really important resource for unusual animation like this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen lots of stuff on Twitter that he brought out for like all kinds of animations, even from China, France itself, and other countries, or just mixes from other countries that made stuff. Hey, yeah, some of the stuff looked really interesting. Like lots of music videos, no, though not actual shows or movies, but yeah, no, some impressive stuff. Like one animation you try to share on the Discord, but because uh, being in a different country didn't really work. But maybe some other site I can watch it on can be too difficult to watch that. But you know,
Oh, what show was that?
he shared it a while back, or somebody shared it a while back. I don't know.
Oh, wasn't that me? I, I shared a film that it couldn't play in my country.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, Le Forêt de Mademoiselle, Tongue de Dennis, something like that.
Right, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, 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 that's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that fear didn't want to play on mine, but oh well, can find some other site to play it really on. It's not that difficult, to be honest. Where are we on time? Yeah, I mean, we might stop right here. We're like 10 minutes overtime almost. So,
Okay.
well, Thanks for watching, and maybe we see you in like 2 weeks or something like that. And subscribe and all that, and peace.
Later.